I have something to say. Let me start out by pointing out the obvious, the future unknowable. Let me repeat myself for emphasis. I have no idea what the future holds, and neither do you or anyone else out there. The future unknowable. It's true, yes, we could be fairly confident that the sun will rise again tomorrow, sure. But who can say? Will it really? Maybe not. Natural disasters, wars, election surprises, recessions, plane crashes, births, deaths, World Cup wins, World Cup losses, so on and so on and so forth. All of those things can crop up and undermine our plans and our sense of certainty and stability, literally at any time. Who knew, for example, that 2020 would be the year that a novel and nasty viral pandemic would blow in from the eastern wind? No one. Yep, no one. Sure, it was conceivable that such a thing could happen, but no one knew that it would happen this year, now, today. This is the plain truth, that almost anything can happen, but it does not stop humans from trying to predict what comes next. Oh, we love that. People who make such predictions and get them right, of course, are praised to the high heavens. Geniuses! Those who get them wrong, pilloried. Useless, biased, idiots, the kind of words that get used. Another problem is that humans are not particularly good at numbers, probabilities, statistics. Hell, most people aren't very good at arithmetic, addition, subtraction. So people misread the forecasts that are made. You know, humans, the dumbest species ever, except of course for the dogs and cats. They aren't making any complex forecasts, so no one's judging them, I guess. So let's review some of the obvious fields in which humans are the keenest to build these complicated models, make all sorts of specific forecasts, take big bets, gambles, investments, and then get really steamed up when they turned out to be a little bit off the mark. Firstly, the weather, okay? Everyone knows that the weather forecasts have got a bit better over the years. If you're my age, you'll remember when the weather forecast, not very specific. Now you can see what the future holds hour by hour on your cell phone, which is accessing a complex database via the internet. Those databases, of course, are in turn fed by near real-time information about humidity and temperature and barometric air pressure from thousands and thousands of weather stations across the country, uploaded into an incredibly sophisticated, seasonally adjusted model. And yet, God forbid that the average citizen should be told that there's an 80% chance it'll be sunny today, and then it's not. It's cloudy or raining instead. People are like, fuck you, Apple. It says here that 80% of the sky would be clear, and look at it, it's murky. That's not what your iPhone meant when it said there was an 80% probability of clear skies, but, you know, whatever. Or what about pro sports? Another great example. If the football betting markets, the odds, right, from the bookies say that Manchester United is going to win on the weekend and then they lose, the bleating continues for days. Like if the betting odds say United have an 80% chance of beating Tottenham, then they lose 6-1 instead, the fans blame the bookies. Stupid idiots. 80% chance, come on, think about it, is based on pre-match conventional wisdom. It doesn't mean that the one team is 80% better than the other, or that things can't go wrong on the pitch. What about forecasts about disease and death rates? That's another big tricky area in 2020. The South African government threw us all into a COVID lockdown in March, predicting that millions and millions of people would get this coronavirus thing. Their models said that hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people might die. So far, not even 20,000 have died. So much for that prediction. Oops! Sorry about the lockdown killing the economy. Now the poor people are starving. Stock markets. Oh yes, here's another area where people love making bold forecasts, many of which are wrong. And when the S&P 500 has a bad patch, perma-bears get lots of media attention. Mostly, of course, perma-bears get crushed because over time the stock market goes up. Short sellers, they sound so clever, but I can tell you I've never met a rich pessimist. They're all poor, grumpy and poor. Not a great combination. Avoid. The price of something on the stock market is merely a reflection of the current conventional wisdom about that business's prospects. The price is never wrong or right, it's just the current midpoint between the buyers and sellers. Because some stock like Amazon is up 80% this year, it doesn't tell you what's going to happen in the future. You should actually buy some Apple and some Amazon today, and those ones are going higher. The most current and amusing case of forecasting failure, of course, is pre-election polls. Like we just saw 2 weeks ago in the United States of America, pollsters were predicting a big blue wave win for Joe Biden, sweeping the evil Mr. Trump out to the ocean. The trouble is It's 2020 and ordinary people don't like answering questions from pollsters on the telephone about their political preferences. What kind of people make themselves available for this stuff? Nate Silver's website 538, which aggregates and ranks all of those polls, gave Biden an 80% chance of winning. The problem is the public are generally too thick to understand probabilistic forecasts. Let me explain. Saying that someone's got an 80% chance of winning does not, I repeat, does not mean that the candidate has support of 80% of the voters. Are you with me? The pollsters tried their best. Nate Silver did a great job. He said that Biden would win, and he did. Okay? So tone it down. Accept that life is uncertain and that forecasts are inherently inaccurate. Stay optimistic, but expect surprises. That way you'll be fine. Well, at least you'll be fine 80% of the time.